Do you know what a lead magnet is and how it can help you collect email addresses? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to tell you what it is. Hey, it's Philip here, the Curly Marketer. You're very welcome to today's Curly Marketer tip. Today I'm talking about lead magnets and how they can help you get email addresses. Now, this is the second video in my email marketing series. If you missed the first one, you can certainly check it out on my website under the blog section there under the email tag. And in that video, I was talking about, does a business still need to use email marketing? And my conclusion, as you will see when you either read the post or watch the video, is that they do. So today, what is a lead magnet? Well, very simply, it's a bonus offering. It's a little incentive that you give a website visitor in return for them giving you their email address. Now, I suppose a few years ago, getting email addresses via lead magnets was a lot easier, but certainly we've now become very guarded about who we give our email address out to, if at all. We're in very much the whole period of GDPR, and I suppose social media from a trust and transparency point of view has gone through a huge amount of change this last year between Facebook and the Analytica scandal. Twitter have changed all of their, their terms from to counteract, spam and the spam type posts that we've seen a proliferation of. So, it's a very different environment, but I do believe that there is still place on your website for some very targeted and relevant lead magnets. So I wanted to give you a few lead magnet ideas that certainly go ahead and try and test on your own site and see what works for you. Now, the first one is the classic ebook. Not as popular as it once was because, unfortunately, yes, everyone has been doing ebooks, but I do believe that there is still a relevance for certain target audiences, and that's why I would always suggest to test. I think the key thing though is understand and know your audience. Me personally, I tend to like ebooks that are no more than maybe 3 or 4 pages long. If you have an ebook that's 50 pages long, the chances are I'm not really going to read that. So I think always make sure that you're tailoring the ebook for the audience and what they like to consume. And I think, like any lead magnet, it's very key that someone can get instant access to something that they can employ or action straight away. They should be able to, for example, read your ebook and pretty much kind of get some tips and tricks that they can action there and then. It's like an instant gratification. But the ebook, I think, is still very relevant to do try and test it on your own site if you don't already use them. The next one is the checklist. Once again, this very much is something that I particularly like as a consumer, because a checklist is something whereby you could maybe give someone 10 steps that they can follow, and by completing the 10 steps they have achieved something. It's like an instant win. It could be a little learning kind of piece, or just a step-by-step process to maybe do something simple, even like what I did recently myself from a checklist I downloaded was a little simple SEO audit on my website. And by the end of that, I was able to kind of go, that's great, now there's something that I've ticked off, and it left the person that I downloaded the checklist from, I had a positive kind of feeling towards them, and I went back to review more information. So a checklist, once again, could be something that could be very, very good for you. Another type of lead magnet is the content upgrade. Let's say, for example, you have done some case studies on successful campaigns that you've done maybe for your own business. The content upgrade could be maybe some of the templates or some of the strategies or the tools that you used to create those results, so that maybe someone who downloads that content upgrade might be able to replicate something similar to the results that they achieved. So that's another type of lead magnet that may be right for your business. I think another great lead magnet is the report. Now, Social Media Examiner, who are probably the largest social media blog website in the world, and they run the very successful social media marketing world, which is probably the largest social media conference in the world. They create this annual report, the Social Media Marketing Report, every year. It's done by Michael Stelzner and all the team over there. And this is a major piece of work. It has loads of statistics and research and trends and basically what's going on in the industry. And definitely, if you work in social media, it is something that invariably you will give your email address because you want access to what the findings that Michael and the team have come across. So once again, this could be maybe ideal for your particular industry or business, is like an industry report where you go through the state of the industry and maybe your own kind of thoughts and findings and solutions. And if your audience wants that really kind of deep in-depth type of information, maybe a report, could be a great lead magnet for you. So there are a couple of ideas from a lead magnet perspective that you should test and try. As I said, there's a whole host of them, but sometimes there's no harm testing maybe a couple of different lead magnets. Maybe test an ebook and a checklist, test a report and a content upgrade to see what works. But I think to round off in relation to lead magnets, just don't make them generic. Don't be just regurgitating what you already have on the site. They should be, by their nature, be a bonus offering. They should be something that is creating more value for the user, for the reader. I always feel a lead magnet should allow someone who downloads it to get fairly instantaneous, actionable results to a certain extent, that they can go away kind of almost to be able to put something into practice or to have learned something, so that they feel, yes, this wasn't a waste of time. I've received something from this lead magnet and I've learned something, or I've been able to put something into practice in my business. So I hope you enjoyed today's Curly Marketer tip about lead magnets. As I said, testing is always the key with these things. Test different forms to see what works, and it would be interesting to see what your experience is on them. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments below what lead magnets you use. If you're watching me here on LinkedIn and we're not connected, I'd love to connect with you. And of course, if you ever need help with social media, please do reach out, and please do also tell me in the comments below if you are using lead magnets, or if you have found that lead magnets just don't work. Certainly would be interested to hear about your experiences. As always, my blog is over there on the curlymarketer.com website. And if you're someone who likes to be on Twitter, I'm over there at Pete Twyford. So I'll see you again soon for another Curly Marketer tip, and wishing you continued success with your business. Take care.